So I just stand up again. I get up, I went back to the garage. I spoke to the Marines once again, and that was about 18 minutes to 20 minutes later. And I asked them once again, can you please leave my house? Can you please leave my house? And the Marines pretty much said once again, we're waiting for your wife. So I went to the garage. I picked up almost 5 pounds weight hammer, and I approached the US Marine van, and I was going to start destroying that image, because like I said, perhaps if I disappear that Marine van or that image, everything would be okay. But what happened is that when I was going to start destroying the van, I hear a voice who was telling me, don't do that, don't do that, we already lost Alice. Carlos, don't do that. That was my mom talking to me. And then I hear somebody else say, sir, if you do that, you're going to be in a big trouble, sir. So I say, oh my God, what am I doing? Oh, help me here, God, help me. And I grabbed the hammer and I slammed it to the ground as hard as I could. And then I ran once again to the backyard. And once again I sat behind a tree and I asked God to please help me. What am I doing? What's going on? And I said, oh my God, this is not happening, this is not happening. Please help me to wake up from these bad dreams. And then I grabbed my phone once again. I said, oh, I gotta call the recruiter, Sergeant Martinez. He can help me out. And I dialed that number, which was already in my cellular. And I just pressed the button. I hear the tone. And then I said, Sergeant Martinez, this is Carlos Arredondo. Please tell me what's going on. Some Marines are telling me Alex got killed. And then the voice on the other side says, sir, you have the wrong number. This is not Sergeant Martinez. I said, wait a minute, Sergeant Martinez. And then he hung up on me. I said, oh my God, what was that about? Oh my God. So I'm looking at the phone and I see in the name Sergeant Martinez. I said, wait a minute. I call back again. And I said, Sergeant Martinez, Carlos Arredondo, Alex's father, what's going on? What's going on? And then once again he said, this number has been changed. This is not Sergeant Martinez. You gotta call, don't go back in this number. And I pretty much I cannot believe all this happened to me at that moment. I pretty much was speechless, upset, confused, devastated. I walked once again, approximately about half hour later, out to my garage, and this time I come out with 5 gallons of gasoline in one hand. In the other hand, I was holding a propane gas torch that has a self-ignited automatic button that the flames come out. And I stand in front of the Marines and I ask once again, can you please leave my house? Can you please? I was very respectful to them. I never meant to threaten them or insult them. But they said something that I don't remember last. They said, I just pretty much walked into the US Marine van, put the gasoline in the ground, the propane gas torch in the ground. Then I picked up the hammer that was in the ground, and I pretty much started hitting the windows with a hammer. I hit it as hard as I could, losing the hammer inside the van. Next thing I know, I see my mother dragging 5 gallons of gasoline away from me. So I grabbed the propane tank, and I went after my mother. I took the gasoline. I opened the driver's side door of the van, and I put the gasoline right in the floor. I put one of my foot in the step, and one of my left hand in the handle. I put the gas propane in the seat, driver's side, and then I put it in the middle of the seats. I put the gasoline also in the middle of the seats, and when I realized that I was inside the van, I broke it. I broke myself on tears, crying, yelling for my son, and looking for him and asking, where's Alex? Where's Alex? And then I saw and then I realized that he wasn't there, and that perhaps that this bad dream was really happening. I picked up the hammer once again that was on the floor inside the van, and I proceeded destroying a computer system that the van had inside there. Some kind of typewriter machine they have there. I slammed the windows, the seat, the roof. I slammed everything I could inside that van. I was so angry and I was so devastated. I can't believe that this was happening. I hit once again one of the back windows of the van. And by hitting that window, I lost the hammer inside the van. Then I proceeded to throw everything out of the van. I mean, everything went out of the van. And I yelled and screaming, throwing everything out. And what I was yelling was for Alex. Where's Alex? This is not happening. This is not happening. And calling for my chichi. And pretty much after I threw everything out of the van, I found the fine gasoline on the floor. At the moment, I was wearing short pants, short sleeves shirt. I was wearing socks. I don't know what happened to my shoes. I started pouring gasoline everywhere. Well, me, no one noticed. The gasoline was splitting all over my legs and pants and arms and leg and socks. And when all the gasoline went all over the place there, I remember it was very difficult for me to breathe because the fumes. And what happened is that I remember seeing my mother screaming and yelling in the driver's side door for help. And I remember looking to the side, seeing the Marines talking in the telephone. They never moved from the point where they first arrived. I grabbed the propane gas torch, which was near the driver's side, was already open, and the next thing I know, I put my hand near the driver's side, in which my mother took advantage to help me and grab me and tried to pull me out of danger, which she did. And when she did that, I tried to balance because she pulled me out, trying to pull me out of the van. And accidentally, at that point, I squeezed the flames. And when that happened, a big explosion occurred that knocked me out of the van, threw me on the air into the ground or the street in which I was on fire. First, I feel like thousands and thousands of needles was hitting my body, but then I realized that my socks all was covered in flames, and my shirt was on flames, my leg was on flames, and I ran across the street and dived into the grass to try to put off the fire. At that point, I don't know what my mother was. I just was suffering this pain that I was feeling. I remember somebody jumping back on my back and was holding my hands. I find out that was one of the U.S. Marines who was trying to control me. But he didn't know that my sauce was on flames. I kept screaming, my feet are burning, my feet are burning. And my mother was trying to remove the shirt, but she didn't make it because my hand was in my back. But she removed my socks, and I remember the feeling that I have of burning sensation suddenly stopped. And then I hear somebody saying, we gotta move out, we gotta move out, the van is going to blow up. That was the lady, a fireman, a neighbor who lived across the street, who suddenly noticed what happened and come out. Between her and the Marine, they dragged me about 30 to 40 yards away from the van. I remember hearing an explosion that occurred at the time. I was keep yelling for my son Alex and say, this is not happening. You guys have the wrong house. You have the wrong name. this is not happening. Please tell me this is not happening. I was yelling when I was on the ground. Then I remember that my wife arrived and she came to my support on the ground saying, can you see me? Can you see me? Are your eyes okay? Don't fight, relax, relax. And pretty much that's when I start calm down, and then suddenly I wake up 2 days later in the burn unit in the hospital. Also, when I wake up in the hospital, I wake up with 2 people that was looking at me. And I had tubes in my mouth. And once again, I cannot speak, and I say, oh my God, is this another dream? Oh my God, I remember the fire. Oh, is Alice okay? Is Alice okay? Oh, I was saying all this to myself, but I cannot speak at the moment because of the tubes in my mouth. So I tried to start pulling tubes out of my mouth. Then I have these 2 well-dressed officers was there, and a nurse trying to control me there. And then pretty much they tied me in the bed till I saw my mom and my wife later in the afternoon. And this case was took over by the FBI and also the Homeland Security.